Hey YouTube, what is happening? It is Gino Bonino, and I am going to make a very quick contest video for Contenders many hundred subscriber contest. Last we checked, it was probably 700 or 800 plus. Hard to say, but I do know that I appreciate the contest, and a very creative idea, having you spell your name, did make me humble. I learned a lesson. There's not a lot of ebooks. That's one. And I don't have a lot with me, so I had to get a little bit creative with my name. But a couple of comments on that. My name is often uh, mis mispronounced. So, and I laugh about it. I just a joke. It's Gino Bonino. It's just something my friends used to call me. My name really is Gino, and then I guess the whole idea was to rhyme it with something else, so that's where that came from. Hopefully, I am catching everybody out of therapy from seeing the Avengers Infinity War movie. I know I needed to go straight from the theater, straight to therapy. It was that traumatic. Quite a good movie, though. I got to admit, I loved it. And again, to me, it reminded me of a comic book in that um, how the people are complaining about how the Hulk got his butt kicked at the beginning. And if you haven't seen the movie, forgive me. I'll give you a chance to shut this off if you haven't seen it, because I'm going to give a couple quick spoilers. Hulk got his butt kicked at the very beginning of the movie, and that reminds me of comic books. I mean, I remember back in the day, Spider-Man would get his butt kicked in one episode or one issue, and then one or two issues later, he'd fight the same guy, and it was like piece of cake. So, again, that kind of reminded me a little bit of that. I kind of laughed how easy it was for Thanos to kick the Hulk's butt at the beginning. And again, I think some people are finding that troublesome. My guess is if there's a second go around, he's not going to do so well. But anywho, here goes. So Contender wanted us to spell our name with some comic books, and I'm going to do just that. Starting with my first letter is G, and we've got a surprise, which is ghosts. One thing I'm going to say is I loved early or the horror comics. I used to always read these along with the superheroes. I used to read this, and then I used to read like the Tarzan and Turok's on the Stone books and all that kind of stuff. This was kind of, along with my comic book stuff, I used to be way into monster models, monster kits, all that kind of stuff, all the old Universal, Mummy, Frankenstein, all that kind of stuff. And anyway, these kind of reminded me of that. I used to read these, and when I have a chance to pick them up, be it House of Mystery or any of those, I do. Weird story about this particular issue, and again, I don't want to make this a haul video, but somebody, I think it was Gino or whatever, I forgot. I know I'm messing up his name, and here I complained about it. Anyway, he mentioned the whole thing about eBay, how you go on and you just look up comics and then you wait and start going through and you look for ones that kind of have slipped between the cracks and you bid on them. Well, that's exactly what happened here. This was a book that this was the only one that was in a slab, and then there was about 5 or 6 other issues, including issue 6, which is a pretty notable one. But anyway, they were all in really good condition and nobody bid on them. So I waited and bid, and I got about 6 or 7 of these old 20 centers for, I think it was like $22 or something like that, shipped. It was very incredibly good deal, I felt. But anyway, one thing about it is, strangely, I got outbid. And then mysteriously, oh my goodness, the little shenanigans that go on eBay, the bid got retracted. So then I won. Now, the good news is there was only a difference of about $1 from the guy underneath me that I bid. If it would have been a huge difference, I would have raised a little bit of a stink. But nonetheless, you do have to for that. I probably put in my bid a little bit too early, and in doing so, I gave a little bit of leeway for some shenanigans. But it's just something to be aware of. I think sometimes what happens is sellers will have buddies, or they have multiple accounts and they will bid on their own stuff. And then if somebody, I think what happened is they were waiting for me to outbid the bid that I lost to, quote unquote lost. And when I didn't, they canceled that bid because I'm sure they wanted the comic sold. And then lo and behold, I was the winner again. I did call eBay and talk to them about it, and they said I was under no obligation to take it. And again, had it been a bigger difference, it was $2. It was $2 difference than the one. That's how much more it was. It wasn't a question of a lot of money. But if it was like $10 or $15, I would have made us think about it. But anyway, just one of those things. So something to watch for. G, first letter. Next one is E. And I actually just picked this book up today. I didn't have it, and I saw somebody talking about it. I felt I wanted it. It's the special issue that doesn't have any issue number on it. Chris Claremont, fantastic book just for that. It's not super rare, but again, it's just kind of a cool book. N and Nova. My guess, my understanding is they're going to be coming out with a Nova movies in production by Marvel. So my guess is this stuff is going to get hot. So if you do have a chance to pick up any Nova books that are in pretty good shape, I would recommend doing so, especially first, second issues, stuff like that. That would be my recommendation, because again, I do have a feeling that they will come up with a Nova book, and pretty soon it'll go the way of like Ms. Marvel, which is kind of a know-nothing, book. It just sits there in the $2, $3, $4, $1 bins and stuff like that, and then lo and behold, once the movie's announced, it skyrockets. And my guess is that's going to be what's happening with Nova stuff. And then Gino is going to be. We're going to give a little love to DC, which is Omega Man. This is, of course, the first appearance of Lobo, and that's him. He looks a little different here than he ends up looking. He looks a little less bikerish here, a little bit more. His hair's a little bit more coiffed, if you must. And again, he gets looking a little bit more rough and tumble later on. But anyway, this is his first appearance, I believe, maybe first solo appearance, something like that. And then B, we're going to stay with DC. We did the Batman, and this is the year 1, issue 401, and the first time that this is kind of a very telling point in Batman's life. This is what made him. When he was just a boy, of course, his parents got shot in front of him, and this is what made him who he is. So I felt that this is a good book to represent B for Batman. And then we had to stretch a little bit for Nino, and we had to go with some news. So we went with New Mutants, and this is, again, a New Mutants 86. This was just before. This is gives a cameo of Cable, and also has a cool cover by Todd McFarlane. I believe it's Todd did this, and I think Rob did the inside. I guess maybe it looks like they both worked on this. So I'm guessing that that's Vulture. Looks to me like it might be McFarlane art, and that one might be Leafield. I'm not sure though how that worked. And then we've got to go with E once again for spec book, which I actually currently have listed. Excalibur 86, and this is going to be a prominent book for the upcoming Deadpool movie. It's been talked about a little bit, and again, one of those books that sat in the dollar bin forever, and then all of a sudden the spec people came out, and it went crazy, and it's going pretty crazy right now on eBay with other people selling it and stuff like that. And another N, we had to do New Avengers. Did this one in basically in appreciation for my Where Is my Ronin appearance, as far as Where Is Hawkeye. Did not make an appearance in the movie. That was well talked about, well documented, but maybe he's becoming Ronin or something like that. Who knows? But anyway, that's him. And then we're going to give a little indie love to Image in Oblivion Song number 1. And that is it. Genobneno. Gino Bonino. That is my video for the contest. I'm going to put a link for Contender in there. Please do subscribe him up. He's I guess the contest is going on until May 11th, so it's probably about another 10 days from the day I'm shooting this. And that's it, guys. So once again, thanks for watching. This is Gino Bonino. I am out. And happy hunting, guys. Bye-bye.